results, not excuses. Join today, fxblincoln.com. That's fxblincoln.com.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in seasons? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
This is the Adam Carriker Show.
Position right of the quarterback out of the shotgun, 1st and 20. Jailbreak screen in the air. It is tipped. It is intercepted by Carriker at the Missouri 21-yard line.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, 8-year NFL vet and All-American defensive lineman Adam Carriker.
Shotgun snap to Everett. He's got the left arm going, and now he's got a whole lot of Adam Carriker who rips him down inside the 25-yard line.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Adam Carriker.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Friday before Nebraska football game. One of my 12 favorite days of the year. Slightly ahead of Christmas, slightly ahead of, well, not my birthday, but my kids' birthdays. You genuinely like that one, huh?
That's really good, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't do this often. I have updated my score prediction because it is slightly, and honestly, I thought it would change more than it actually did. Because when I found out Nebraska was a 10.5-point favorite, last time I looked, we're up to 11. I don't know where we are now. Somebody can text it on the text line if they want, along with any questions, thoughts, concerns, and or otherwise. What's that number there, Jake?
402-464-5685.
Oh,
5685. I messed it up.
You've only said it 1,000 times and you finally messed up. Like, if we're still here 20 years from now, I'm genuinely going to keep track and see if it's the same number, because that would be phenomenal.
That's made it over a decade so far.
It's pretty impressive. My score prediction has slightly changed just a bit. All right, send us your score predictions. Let us know. Send us into that text line. What's your official score prediction? Mine doesn't change a lot. And whatever the official updated spread is now. Last time it was initially 10.5, then it went to 11. Now I don't know where it's at. I haven't looked just yet. My initial score prediction, I was like, 10.5. We're favored by 10.5. What? And then I had us winning the game by 10. I will tell you right now, I have changed it, and the game is closer, and I do not have us covering. Of course, technically 10 didn't have us covering either, but it is not a double-digit separation. Have I gone crazy and maybe even flip-flopped entirely? I don't know. I do. I'm lying. But we're going to tell you here shortly. Send us your score predictions, whatever the updated spread is as of, 2 seconds ago, because it constantly changes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the Adam Carriker Show. It's the fastest hour in radio, the loaded show. We're going to discuss Nebraska versus Michigan State, updated score predictions, read your questions at 12:25 or 12:30, depending on if we run over as always. My former strength and conditioning coach, a man who was bred, I'm going to use the word bred and educated in Husker power under Boyd Epley, then was my strength and conditioning coach when I was here. He's going to join us. I'm going to ask him, man, how do we, if you're the strength coach, you're in charge of health, also the trainers, but you're in charge of health, you're in charge of guys staying healthy, you're in charge of the fourth quarter belongs to the strength coach in the trenches. Okay? So if you were, as you're watching Nebraska, as I know he still does, Tampa Bay Bucs strength coach for a long time as well. In fact, a former walk-on at Nebraska, Kevin Lewis, one of my defensive line mates, was the team nutritionist down there for a long time. I haven't chatted with him in about a year. I don't know if he's still there. He was there for a long time. I got to see if he's still there, but I'm going to ask Coach K what his thoughts are in general, in-season maintenance, weights programs, things of that nature. And to be clear, I think Corey Campbell's doing a good job. When it comes to O-linemen getting beat in one-on-one situations, that comes down to the individual offensive lineman. It comes down to coaching as a whole. On the defensive line, we knew we were undersized coming in. We knew that. So how are we going to incorporate that as part of our team, our game plan, our defense for the season was a gigantic thing that we talked about all offseason. I think Corey Campbell does a good job, but I'm going to talk to Coach K. And I brought him on about a year ago at this time. We spoke afterwards. Man, he has no problem being honest. I'm just going to put it that way. He was honest in the interview, and he was honest when he spoke to me afterwards. Loaded show, fastest hour in radio. We better dive into it and light this candle. But real quick, it is the noon hour. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what that means here on the Adam Carriker Show. On the ticket, it is sponsored by our good friends at Mulberry Barbecue, now with 2 locations at 11th and Cornhusker and at 61st and Apples Way, right off of Highway 2 by Lowe's. Both locations are open Monday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Try their burn-in sandwich, a brisket burrito, barbecue nachos, full slab of ribs, half-smoked chicken, and much, much more, plus incredible sides. Get fueled for lunch today or make dinner plans at Mulberry Barbecue, located at 11th and Cornhusker and at 61st and Apples Way, just off of Highway 2. Hey, quick fantasy football update out of nowhere, by the way. Just didn't have this even planned. I got a text last night. I wonder, Coach K, if you listen, this is a different Coach K, Olympus Track. Shout out to Olympus Track. Not the Coach K we're going to bring on at 12:25. If you listen to the show, send me a text. Because I talked about how I hadn't adjusted. By the way, we're 4-0 now in fantasy football. Remember, I hadn't even looked at it.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
I didn't do anything. And we were 3-0. I made some slight changes on Sunday. I'm like, I swear to God, if we lose, I'm never touching this thing again. We're 4-0 somehow. I don't know how. I got a text last night from Coach K of Olympus Track. Hey, you got some players on bye week this week? You going to make changes? And I was like, does he know that I don't really, is he trying to help me out here? Oh, he's listening right now. Coach K says, tuning in, my friend. All right, shout out to Coach K. Love that dude. And thank you for the help, by the way. So he texted me last night, you've got guys on bye week. And I was like, crap, are they playing right now on Thursday night? He's like, no, they're Bears players. So I did go in and change them this morning. But thank you for your help is all I'm saying. We're 4-0. And I'm going to say we're dominating, but at some point, reality is probably going to set in and all things are going to equal out over time. But Jacob and I are having fun.
Can I ask you real quick about fantasy football?
Yeah.
In being in NFL locker rooms, is there frustration on the defensive side of the ball that most leagues, now you can't do defensive, but in generally that defensive players aren't really included?
We could care less.
There's not much of no discussion.
And when fans tweeted a player, you killed my fantasy league, they don't care. That's a good way to get blocked quicker than a hiccup on social media, by the way. NFL players, unless they're doing their own fantasy league, which we didn't, probably some guys did it, but it's not like the big talk of the locker room. I'm sorry. It's not at the top of our priority list. All right. No, they don't really care. All right. Yeah. I never once said, oh, I don't get to be an individual player on fantasy football. I'm so offended. Well, what are you going to get? As a 3-4 D end, if I get 5 tackles, I've had an amazing game. What's the difference if I get 5 or 3? What? That's why you do a defense as a whole and not individual defensive players.
Well, I just think it's kind of sad that across the nation, people know the Bills' 4th wide receiver is, and they don't know who the linebacker.
That's true. Now I'm highly insulted. Now that you pointed this out, I'm gonna file a lawsuit. What is this? Yeah. Kickers have a spot. Kickers are people too, by the way, Jake. Kickers have a spot in fantasy football because they're people too, and I'm just going to leave it at that. All right, Nebraska versus Michigan State. Has anybody texted in? What are some of the feedback, questions, responses we've gotten so far?
Yeah, let's start with YouTube. Justin says, I'll take Nebraska 34-17. Says, by the way, 11.5 with an over-under of 48.5 is where it is now.
Oh, the over-under went down because it was 53.5, and I said take the over. All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
5317 says 34-24 Nebraska.
Oh, that's a ripoff of me. That was my exact score prediction before I came in today.
Your original one.
I decided to change it. Yeah. Hey, could you just give credit where credit's due and just say, I stole this from Adam Carriker? I'm just going to throw this out there. Jake's going to know what I'm talking about. There's been other thievery recently in the state of Nebraska, particularly in Omaha. Don't get called out, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead, Jake.
IQ Crew says 31-6 Huskers. Hashtag TTB.
31-6.
Yeah.
It's awfully windy for that many field goals. I'm just saying. Go ahead.
Willie says 31-30 Skurs.
Ooh.
Don't understand the line on this one, he says.
That's where I was. And then I had a 10-point prediction of my own. Again, it shrunk. It's closer. Maybe I flip-flop. Maybe I didn't. Some people have hit me up, and they act very indifferent about this game. This game is huge. And if we lose, I'm going to come in here and say it's not as big a deal. But, if you take it one game at a time, it's not as big a deal. If you look at it as a whole, it's like, whoa, we're behind the 8 ball now. But again, I was a part of a Skins team in D.C. We were 3-6, and our bye week was week 10. Back when we played 16 games, we rattled off 7 straight wins, won the division. RG3's rookie year, and then, after that happened. If you're not a Skins fan, don't look it up. It's not worth your time. If you're a Skins fan, I'm sorry I brought that up.
Magical back after the season, though.
It was magical, dude. So I've seen it happen multiple times. But here's my takeaway. Like, if we win by double digits, great. If we cover, great. Like, the difference between winning by 1 point and let's say 11 or 12, whatever the spread is they just said, it's marginal. We're going to feel better if we win by 2 scores, so to speak. I mean, you're going to feel better. You win by 1 score, it's like, all right, we did it, but what if we lose? That's where the gap is. That's where the world turns upside down and it's Chicken Little and the sky starts falling. I'm just saying. So 31-30, that works for me.
Well, and that's where Gorilla Bear is. There's a lot of picks in here, but Gorilla Bear says, I'm sorry, but this is exactly the type of game Nebraska loses. 38-33 Sparty until proven otherwise.
So I don't even hate that. You know why? Because there's truth and honesty behind that. I sat here. I don't want to read it again. Go watch yesterday's show. Go listen to it if you didn't. I sat here and I talked about basically the teams that make bowl games but don't make top-tier bowl games. Middle-of-the-road Big Ten teams. Our record is not great in those games. It is. We win 25% of them. Just saying. Like in recent years. Yeah. That's not great. So I can't even hate on that. I hate the score prediction. I just can't hate on it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
So we got some other scores. 5266 says 32-29 good guys. 6732 says.
I like good guys. I like using good guys.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah, I like that.
24-20 Huskers.
Okay.
Frickin' Lincoln says 37-21 Huskers.
What's the name? Frick?
Yep.
That's a freaking good name. All right, go ahead.
3789 30-27. Riley W says 38-28. Throw the bones.
I like it. Did they do TTB at the end? Hashtag TTB?
No, but they did. It was bones with like maybe 5 or 6 S's.
Ooh, I like it. I like it. I'll take it. Hashtag TTB. I like that too, but go ahead.
Ben says, I don't care if it's 3-2, just win. GBR.
Okay, I did a speaking event on Wednesday, and I said that. I said, I don't care if it's 100-99 or 3-2. If you're going to rip me off, people, like, give me some credit, especially if you're going to send it into the show that I'm on. It probably has nothing to do with me. It's just a coincidence, but I like feeling important.
We have another Michigan State prediction,
right.
28-23 Sparty.
Okay.
And Trey says 68-0 Huskers.
So Akron again.
Yeah.
I can't hate on any of those predictions. Probably the most unrealistic is 68-0, but I'm not going to hate on that. All right. Here's why it changed. Here's why my score prediction changed. My score prediction changed because it's going to be 18 to 20 mile an hour winds on Saturday with gusts between 40 to 44 miles an hour. Now, Matt Rule, I believe it was just yesterday in his press conference, said he's not concerned about it. If you're a football team, you have to plan, especially in the Big Ten, for potential snow, cold weather, windy days. It's not like this is going to flabbergast them and they've never thought about this before. So is it a gigantic concern? No. But when I think about what wind affects, it affects the passing game and kicking. Which team passes better? We do. Which team sucks at defending the pass? They do. So who does it help? Them. Now, does it completely change who wins the game? I hope we're prepared, and from a game plan and a coaching staff point, I hope we're ready better than that. Like, you have to factor this in if you're a Big Ten team. But it did shrink my score just a little bit. I think Matt Rule is going to be more likely to kick field goals if we're close to the red zone. And again, I had no problem with him going for it, that first possession versus Michigan. Personally, I'm a guy that goes for everything. I do. But there's such a, I'm not saying the team is mentally fragile. I'm saying there's such a mental fragility edge that we're walking right now. That going right down the field versus Michigan and kicking that, going up by 3, immediately gives you a little momentum versus getting stopped. Now, you pointed out, Michigan, because we got stopped on that 4th down, got the ball in their 5. We got a 3 and out. They punted. We started at the 34. Unfortunately, Cunanan's 1 field goal he's missed this year. He's 6 out of 7, happened to be that one. And that was a little bit deflating. People at the game said the crowd was amazing, but the crowd never got to a full Colorado-type tilt. I think initially, right out the gate, 2 possessions, no points. I remember being like, seriously? Like, seriously? At that point, I was like, seriously? I couldn't have been the only one. So it's not like the crowd just deflated, but they never were able to get to that fever pitch and just those little momentum swings and mental, like right now we're walking a little bit of a mental fragility line, and anything you can do to build that confidence, the 6 inches between your ears and from the neck up, I think is huge. That being said, maybe Matt Rule says Adam Carriker's an idiot. I don't listen to him, and I'm going to go for it every time on 4th down. Dan Lanning was 7 for 7 in Happy Valley, and it worked. I got it worked out. I have no problem with it. I just think he's going to be more likely to kick field goals. This just happens to be a windy day. So I think there's going to be a few less points, a few less field goals kicked, a little harder to pass the ball. I personally don't think it changes the outcome of the game. And if I hear after the press conference, if Nebraska loses, the wind played a huge role in this game, I'm not going to be a big fan of it. I don't care. You have to be able to plan for these things. You plan for this team in January. You plan for these games in January and February when you're building your team. When you're looking for a potential another transfer portal running back, or you're building your offensive line or your defensive line, you have to be able to plan for these games. At first, my initial score prediction was 34-24. I think Monday, Tuesday, whenever. I always put one out early in the week. Stuff happens throughout the week, like Michigan State's left tackle is out. So they may be hurting a little bit more on offense than they were. They're also missing some depth in the middle linebacker spot on their linebacking core, and they're banged up in general. They had a bye week to get healthy, but they may struggle a little bit. Maybe we get another sack or two we otherwise wouldn't have gotten. I mean, your left tackle, typically that's your best pass protector. So if he's out, typically, that has a little bit more of an effect on the game than maybe some other positions. Maybe your number 3 wide receiver position, with all due respect, doesn't have the same effect as your starting left tackle does, something like that. Jake wants to throw kickers under the bus. Kickers are people too. Remember, they're in fantasy football, and I was not.
That's right.
I'm suing the NFL. All right. So at first I was going to go, nobody's going to make field goals. 28-21 was going to be my new score prediction. But then I'm like, I think Rule is going to be a little bit more likely to kick field goals, especially if we get around that 10-yard line area. And we're going to make those. We're going to make those. So I do have us making a field goal. I have Michigan State making a field goal. And it's not a gigantic change to my score prediction. It's a little bit lower scoring, a little bit closer. They do not cover, if I'm right. And I don't care as long as they win. As long as the good guys just score one more point than the other guys. I have Nebraska 31, Michigan State 24. Now, I've never heard your score prediction. Have you given one? Have you changed it? If you have, where are you at now, Jake? Anything else from the text line real quick?
Just Chris real quick on Facebook says 45-20 Huskers. Defense scores a touchdown. So
ooh, I like that.
See that this weekend.
Sack fumble, left tackle out. Take advantage of it.
Yeah, there you go. I've not officially given a score prediction quite yet. And it's kind of funny because I spent all week saying that prediction's that 11 point is too high. And then you start to think about it like, well, maybe a 41-28, you're going over it.
That's what happened to me.
Right, yeah. So it's kind of funny. I can see the path to it. Michigan State does feel a little bit banged up there. So that's kind of more toward what I would be leaning to. So I'll go 41-28.
So you're just like me. You looked at the initial spread. You're like, what? And then, although I did addendum mine just now, I pretty much ended up with the same exact as what the initial spread was. I had a 10-point gap, and it was 10.5 at that point. Now, obviously, I've shrunk it a little bit. If you're Nebraska, you have to win this game. All right. You have to win this game. You are off a bye. They're off a bye too. But you're off a bye. You're healthy. They're banged up. You're at home. You're a double-digit favorite. Like, you have to win this game from the mental line that we're walking when it comes to building confidence. I don't want to throw fragility out there again. It's Italian, by the way. I don't want to throw that out there again, okay? But you need to build some confidence mentally. And it starts with getting a win in this game. Because the flip side of that, I don't even want to talk about it. But the flip side of that, we know what that could do. I will say this. Rule going into the bye week, maybe it was, I forget which press conference. Like, he had the bye week ahead of him yet. Might have been the Monday after the Michigan game with the whole bye week ahead of him. They were working on a plan for the number 2 running back situation. At his press conference earlier this week, he said they have a plan, but they're not going to divulge it. So when you look at the number 2 running back situation, we averaged 1.4 yards per carry versus Michigan. A lot of that is obviously Emmett had nowhere to go. Here's the deal. We got on the O-line for not blocking great. You know, Emmett's blocking grade on a scale of 1 to 100, according to Pro Football Focus, was 10.
Jeez.
Like, I love Emmett Johnson. But a 10 out of 100? Think about that in, like, taking a test in school. The whole entire thing, everybody offensively has to block better. And if you have to take Emmett out, if you're concerned about pass protection or whatever, by the way, 7 sacks, part of that pass protection is the back being in and et cetera, who's the next guy up? Who is that running back 2 situation? So I'm curious what Matt Rule's plan is. I'm kind of curious to see if he doesn't want to divulge it because he just wants to see how it plays out. And then you didn't have to divulge anything. Maybe they do have a plan. They genuinely don't want to divulge it. I really don't think it's Harbor going to running back, which was suggested earlier this week via a comment, a text that we got. Part of me freaking loves that. But how demoralizing is that to everybody else in that running back room if that is the case? But if it works, I'm sorry. Not interested in your feelings. Just not. We need results. I'd be surprised if that's it. You know, then you got to entrust Carter Nelson to be the number 2 tight end, which he's been code number 2 tight ends all season with Heinrich Harburg, so maybe he's ready. Again, I don't think that's it. I'm just intrigued to see what it is because this is a position that, because we like Emmett and he's a good player statistically, one of the best backs in the country, one of the best backs in the Big Ten, but everybody has things in their game they need to work on. His is blocking is the first thing that comes to my mind. So then who do you put in to block? And how does that work? What if Emmett gets nicked up? So these are things that I think could factor in on a day. I expect us to light them up through the air. They suck in their pass defense. And I know I'm talk for a living and I'm supposed to use better vernacular, more intelligent vernacular. Sometimes bluntness works. But the wind could possibly help them. And if we have to rely on our ground game more, how does that play out? All right, when we come back, we will be talking to my former strength and conditioning coach, a man who was born, raised, and bred in Husker Power, Mr. Dave Kennedy. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
There are great Mexican restaurants all over town, but there is one that is especially worth the drive from any part of town. Tacos Los Hermanos at 70th and Havelock. Cool off this summer with a delicious horchata or other special drinks. And grab one of their famous taco boxes for a group of friends or coworkers to enjoy, full of birria tacos and many other options. Don't forget their great desserts like tres leches, flan, and cheesecake. Get to Tacos Los Hermanos for lunch or dinner today at 70th and Havelock in Lincoln.
Hungry for something real? Come to HF Crave, Lincoln's favorite spot for burgers that are anything but basic. Locally sourced Nebraska beef, hand-cut fries, and bold flavors that'll make your taste buds cheer. Whether you're craving the classics or ready to try something wild, they've got the burger that gets you. HF Crave. Fresh, local, craveable. Find them at 48th and Holdridge or order online at hfcrave.com.
This just in. Hot off the bench press. Planet Fitness has expanded strength equipment. We're raising the bar with these benches, and our hack squat will have you actually looking forward to leg day. Plus, we're still repping all the best-in-class equipment we've always had. There's no better time to get stronger. Join the club today for $1 down, $15 a month, now through October 10th. Planet Fitness is proud to partner with Boys and Girls Clubs of America to create stronger, kinder communities. See Home Club for details.
A business's phone is the lifeline to its customers and potential clients. That's why it's so important that you can take calls seamlessly from anywhere, whether you're on the road or in the office. Hamilton Business Technologies can help ensure your phone rings wherever you are. We can equip your headquarters and any of its locations with the right tools for smooth, professional call handling. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we know how to keep Nebraska businesses connected. Learn more at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership. Get geared up for savings like you've never seen before during Elway Days. Their biggest sale of the year runs October 14th through the 18th when every red tagged machine is priced at invoice plus $300. That's it. No freight, no setup, no extra fees. Don't miss out on these epic savings. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered all under one roof with a large selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, and personal watercraft at their 27th and I-80 location.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in seasons? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
MHC isn't a new company, just a new name. Moe's Moving is now Moe's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can handle your commercial moves as well. MHC Moving has 0 hidden fees. You'll never pay for same-day booking or be charged for stairs, heavy items, or elevator fees. Rates are the same Monday through Saturday, and you will never pay a truck or fuel surcharge. And they offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com.
Hi, I'm Sarai, your personal banker here at Midwest Bank. I'm proud to serve our community in English and in Espanol because everyone deserves a banker who understands them. This Hispanic Heritage Month, we're celebrating the traditions, values, and dreams that make our community strong. Whether you're opening your first account, planning for the future, or growing your business, estoy aquí para ayudarle a alcanzar sus metas. I'm here to help you reach your goals. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Member FDIC.
This is Rick Heyman with Sartor Heyman Jewelers. Sartor Heyman is celebrating 120 years, and you could win big. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram for your chance to win a $120 gift certificate every week. That's right, we're giving away $120 every week as a thank you for being part of our story. Don't miss your chance to treat yourself. Follow Sartor Heyman Jewelers today. Celebrating 120 years. Sartor Heyman, when only the best will do.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes. Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
Hey, Husker Nation. This is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top-quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see lots of sunshine. It'll be breezy and hot. Afternoon high around 90. Tonight, mainly clear skies, a continued breeze, a low around 71. And tomorrow, we'll see mainly sunny skies. It'll be windy and warm, an afternoon high near 89. I'm meteorologist Kyle Hunter for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show. Before we bring on our special guest, as a former Husker and NFL player, I'm a bit of a health nut. Hydration and recovery starts at home. That's why I teamed up with Culligan of Lincoln. Soft water means better showers, cleaner dishes, and it protects my water heater and appliances. Their high-efficiency softener cuts salt and water usage for drinking. Add a Culligan reverse osmosis bottled quality water right at your tap. Great taste, and it's certified to reduce tough contaminants like lead and PFAs. Right now, get up to $300 off a home system or just $9.95 a month for your first 3 months. Schedule your free water test at ColliganHuskers.com. That's ColliganHuskers.com. Colligan of Lincoln, water you love. Go, Big Red. All right, somebody threw out to me, what about Harburg? What if he goes to fullback? He's got one of the best blocking grades on the entire team consistently throughout this year. What if we do more fullback runs? Also, Coach K did say there are fantasy leagues. He's in one of them where there's individual defensive players. I'm no longer suing the NFL. And he did say we are actually going against each other this week in fantasy football. So he wanted to beat me outright, or I appreciate that. And he says there's also punters. Punters are people too in some of these fantasy football leagues as well. All right. At this time, let's bring on our special guest. All right, a man who's been the Tampa Bay Buccaneers strength and conditioning coach, Nebraska football strength and conditioning coach, helped produce 21 All-Americans, more actually now at this point in time, and had about 20 players go to the NFL as first-round selections. Mr. Dave Kennedy, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great, man. How are you doing?
Oh, life is good. I have zero complaints. All right, question for you. You watched Nebraska play so far this year. A lot of talk about, obviously, the quarterback position, but the trenches. When you watch Nebraska play, you watch them versus Michigan, the trenches starts with physicality, strength, and all that stuff. What's been your impressions of them so far at the line of scrimmage this year?
Well, I haven't watched them as much. I watched a Michigan game, and you know, it doesn't matter. What works in middle school, works in high school, works in college, works in the NFL. Run the ball, stop the run, you win the game. I mean, you know, and that formula always works. As much as the offenses get more sophisticated and there's more passing, you know, it doesn't matter whether it's Alabama or Nebraska or anybody. You know, whoever wins, not all the time. Turnovers are a factor. You know, a quarterback could really light it up and score 5 touchdowns. But over the long haul, it's, you know, run the ball, stop the run, and, you know, you win the game. So that's the best way I could put it, you know.
As you watch Nebraska and you watch the Michigan game, you watch the trenches and they get a bye week, what are some of the things from maybe your perspective that can be done over the bye? Because it's hard to make drastic improvements during the year, but sometimes teams come out and they look different after a bye. What are some of the things that can be done during a bye to help make quicker improvements?
Well, it's how you practice, Adam. I mean, if you want to go back to the history of Nebraska football, and I grew up in the state, and you know, I was a student there, a GA there, and then a full-time assistant there. And you know, if you looked at how Nebraska practiced, I mean, nobody got the number of reps of practice that they did. And when we go to a bowl game and practice on grass, if you looked at our grass and you looked at maybe Florida's grass, you know, when we were both practicing on ours looked like you would plowed it over. You know, just it's whether it's inside period, whether it's team, you know, it's tough. And you know, I think what really is happening now as far as player development. I'm not talking about strength and conditioning, yes, which was my forte, but you know, with the transfer portal, and you know, everything's trickling down to where college now is more like the NFL when you went into the NFL, and you can't practice like in the NFL like you could in college. I mean, you got all different age groups, you got experience and all that kind of stuff. But the hardening that they've gone through in college to get to the NFL pays dividends in the fundamentals. You know, and that can't be done as much. You know, they're paying this guy this much, and if he doesn't play, he leaves. And so that kind of development and you know, the physicality is really tough to do, because I feel like not only strength and conditioning, but it's more like an NFL model, you know, with the NIL and the way things are going. So, you know, you have to practice physical to be physical. You know, USC's getting all the gruff, you know, and Lincoln Riley is thought of as one of the best offensive minds out there. But, you know, it doesn't matter how many defensive coordinators they hire. They always struggle to stop the run and with their physicality. And they signed great defensive linemen this year. But, you know, you have to practice physical to be physical. And, you know, you have to be gap sound as much as anything. You know, I don't know, you know, just and I was kind of flipping. But you know, when if you get gashed, you know, that's, I don't know what the stats would have been. They fall into the stats, but they had 3, you know, monster runs. So, I hope that answers your question. I kind of went rambling on there, but that's kind of what I think.
No, I think that makes sense. Some of the more physical players you've been around some of the best to ever do it. Your time at Ohio State, Orlando Pace, #1 overall pick. You've been, I believe you crossed over with Sue at the Bucks. I could be wrong about that, but I know Levante.
No, I did not. But I had Sue as we redshirted Sue. You were there. I mean,
yeah, that's right. That's right.
I fought that one. I like even back then. Like we redshirted Sean Springs when I was at Ohio State, and he ended up being the #1 pick, and Sue was Sue, and Dan Wilkinson. We redshirt, and if they're that good, they're going to come out early. So you just lose that experience, but we're running ISO with Orlando Pace and Corey Stringer on the same line, and I think you got to practice physical to be physical. You got to practice tackling the tackle, and that means going, it's tough to do when you're worried about getting this guy who's, getting guys hurt, which is never a thing, so it's really how you practice. And I don't know how they're practicing. I'm not judging them. That was just one game. I think, how do you feel about Michigan State? Are they a physical run team?
They're a big they're a big team. They got some big lines, some big players. I mean, they're a Big Ten team. Their quarterback is really athletic. He can throw, he can run. He was a former 5-star player. So they've got some things they can do. Their talent is not to the level of Nebraska. Maybe they have a little bit of a size advantage just because we're a little smaller on the D-line. Where I was going with my question, though, I mean, you mentioned Sean Springs, Orlando Pace, Joey Galloway, who played for about 1,000 years in the league. Larry Fitzgerald, he actually trained, as you know, at Nebraska under you when he was getting ready for the draft, one of the most physical wide receivers ever. Levante David, I know you had him at the Bucks. Talk to me about the guys who were physical, the guys who were extra physical. What do you think made them that way? Like from their mental approach?
Well, okay, so I don't think the game of football is in everybody. I mean, it's not in them. Like I have 3 sons and they're all different. They're all raised the same way. And it's certain guys could make it pretty far in college and even make it to the NFL and not even like the physicality of the game just because it's so freakishly big or, just so talented. And that'll eventually show up. So, yeah, the game of football is not in everybody, just like UFC or boxing or those kind of things, because it is, and the difference between the NFL and college from a physicality standpoint is shocking, and that was my learning. I watched it and I had all these players come back and all that kind of stuff. But when I came up here and, I had Mike Evans in college and then we had Mike Evans here and he's huge. And he could manhandle corners. I mean, you could not press him because he would just throw you like a little rat because he's giant, but he came after that first game. We played the Bengals his first game and he walked in like Frankenstein walking into the facility. And I couldn't even believe it because he's bigger than all those, but it's still the physicality, the toll of that, got on him. And the little guys get tired and big guys don't shrink. That holds up. And if you look at, okay, my sons went to Texas, and so my wife acts like we went to Texas. So Texas game is always going to be on. And with the NIL and stuff, Texas went from having just a regular Big 12, defensive line. Now they're as big as anybody, and when Alabama was great, they're 8 deep on their defensive front. And the thing that NIL has also changed is that like Georgia and Alabama used to have 8 defensive linemen that are all 4 or 5 stars that they're running in and out, and they're just dominant. Well, now they only have 3 or 4 because if you ain't playing, you're getting out of there and going somewhere else. So it kind of evens it out in a way, and that's why Alabama won't be as dominant, Georgia won't be as dominant. So I think the game of football is not in everybody, but size wins. Little guys get tired and big guys, little guys get tired and big guys don't shrink.
The instant you said that the Texas game is on every single weekend in your house, I think half our listeners probably turned off the interview, but that's okay. For those that are still there, I've actually shared this story before, but I'll quickly share it again. It was my redshirt freshman year, my first spring practice, and a lot of my friends were going out boating on a lake. It's springtime. It's Saturday. So I'm about to embark on a 1,000-play scrimmage, and I'm a redshirt freshman, going to go against a lot of the starters, Richie, guys like that. And I'm in warm-up lines. And I'm a pretty easy person to read sometimes. I did not have the best attitude. But I did not realize, like my helmet was on, my face mask and everything. I did not realize I was that easy to read because I'm standing there doing whatever stretch, and you walk up and you're just staring at me. You don't say anything for a solid 10, 15 seconds, which isn't long, but it feels like an eternity when you're a freshman who's basically pouting and you got your strength coach just staring a hole through you. You look at me and you must have been able to figure out kind of where I was at mentally. And you look at me and you just simply go, football ain't for everybody. And you walked away. So with what you just said to me, I was brought back to that moment in time. And I don't know if I've ever told you this. I remember that obviously to this day, but it stuck with me. Like, this ain't for everybody. Either buy in or get out, Adam. And that was honestly a big moment for me going forward. But I got another question for you. And again, I think Corey Campbell, our strength coach, does a great job. But from a strength and conditioning perspective, what kind of role does that actually play when it comes to being physical at the line of scrimmage?
Well, confidence. I mean, the stronger you are, whether you're a 5-star, 4-star, 3, player development is huge, and people mature at different times at different ages. There's all kinds of the history of Nebraska walk-ons and linemen that have just developed. That is 100% the way to go. Now in the season, no. Once you're in it, no. But that's a huge part. Player development is a huge part. And Adam, I'm really kind of scared that is not a part of it anymore. Where and I'm not judging any strength coaches in college. You don't have 6 a.m. for 2 weeks in the middle of the winter. I mean, with and that kind of stuff. And if you pay a certain lineman, that guy's going to play. If you pay a certain quarterback, that guy's going to play. So if you pick the wrong guy, then you're kind of stuck. But player development is huge. And from a player perspective too, with the NIL, they've got a certain amount of money, or they were 4-star, and that ranking is still, carries way too much weight. I mean, it's like winning or losing a bowl game based on your recruiting class, 5-star and 4-star and things like that. But if you're a 4-star and you don't play, then you aren't trying to develop. You just say, I'm going somewhere else. I mean, I'm getting screwed. And with social media and everything, you got to deal with your family. They're saying, hey, what's going on? What's the problem? How come you're not playing? You got all these hype going in. You're getting a certain amount of money. And then it's a lot on them mentally. It really is because not only do they have to deal with, hey, they're not good enough to be playing right now, but they also have to answer these questions. Well, you should be playing, and all that kind of stuff, which just makes it exponentially harder for everybody who's trying to coach him. But the number one thing, and this, I'm getting down on philosophy of coaching and stuff. If it's going to play, everybody wants to get better, and if it's going to make them better, if they know, that they're going to get better by doing it, they'll do anything. All the other things I just said are completely true. But the greatest motivator is the success of the program, because and if they know that your best interest is their best interest, not trying to impress the head coach, not trying to get the next job, not trying to do this or change when the head coach comes around, they'll do anything for you. So if they have the ability to go really hard in the off season and things like that, but player development still should be paramount. And do you go to practice? Do they go hard on the inside? I mean, on open day, is there a scrimmage? If there was open week when Coach Osborne was there, you'd scrimmage on Wednesday and Saturday. I mean, so with the numbers the way they are now and things like that, nobody does that. But like I said, that drifts down from, it's more like an NFL kind of, how many times you go in pads during the whole season in the NFL. So if that trickles down, then the fundamentals are lost on that.
I mean, that's a great point. College football is more like the NFL than it's ever been. It's getting more like that. It's funny you brought up the 6 a.m. workouts. I still remember the 2 weeks of hell from Callahan when he first got there. Our workout started at 6. You had to be taped, which meant, 150 plus guys at that point getting taped. Like, you had to get up at 4:15 to be ready to go at 6. And I'm still convinced to this day, you guys pretty much tried to get as many guys to quit as you possibly could because he didn't like the size of the roster. But those were workouts. They weren't for everybody. But hey, Coach, I appreciate you taking the time, and it's good to hear from you as always.
Well, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. And now that you've cut me off, I could bring up the Richie Incognito Adam Carriker fight.
Oh boy,
that nobody talks about, but was really kind of pretty much the last straw for Richie. And that was something to see. And that was one of those things where everybody knows when they can jump into certain fights and break it up because nobody's really going to do anything. But that's something you didn't want to jump right in the middle of that one. So I'll leave you on that, and you guys have a great day.
Well, real quick, since you brought it up, what was your perspective on that? Because I haven't talked about that thing in years, but what was your perspective on it?
Well, Coach Callahan was super against fighting because he went through all that. Romanowski broke a player's jaw on the line and it kind of separated the team. So, and Richie wanted to fight all the time, every time. Yep. And he would absolutely punk you if you if he could, and that was his. He'd love to do that, and so there's no problem with that. That's great. I mean, if a guy tries to punk you and you let him, then you're just a punk. So it doesn't matter, Richie's reputation or anything like that. And really, fights in full pads. There's really, you two are giant dudes anyway. There's not a real threat of other than breaking your hand swinging to somebody's helmet or something, So yeah, no, I have no problem with it. I thought, and it was a kind of a come out. That was before you were world famous, and so it was kind of it really was. It was a coming out party for Adam Carriker.
So from my perspective, I think it was going into my sophomore year, so I hadn't started yet. It was a goal line scrimmage, and Richie had moved from tackle to center.
No question. I know right where it is.
Yeah, it was in the north end zone. Richie had gone to center. LaKeven Smith was out that day. So Kaz looked at me and said, "You go to nose," which meant I went against Richie, which I had done 1,000,000 times my first 2 years there, so no big deal. I'd seen him get in 1,000,000 fights. And I've always said I kind of respected him because he would fight you if you were a DB, if you were a lineman, if you were a big name, if you were no name. I saw him try to fight all 4 starting defensive linemen at once and not back down when I was redshirting. I couldn't believe what I was watching. So I actually respected him. Didn't love everything about it, but I respected it. And I'm like, how in the world, with all the times I've gone against Richie, has he not swung on me yet? At some point, he's going to. He did. I had a game plan, and the rest is history. So, yeah.
That's good. Well, and no, that's where you come out. And here's the thing. Once you go there with a guy, he won't go there anymore. I mean, once you've had that, he's just going to see what if he could punk you, then, and that happens in NFL games all the time. Guys make guys quit. I mean, it's kind of easy to, and I'm talking too much. You got to go to the next session. But like there's all different forms of quitting.
Yep.
I mean, it's obvious, certain times, but you could stay on a block to not be in the play if you're worried about trying to tackle Barry Sanders or a great back or whoever it is, and especially on the fronts, you've been there where especially if you could take a defensive lineman just kind of shut down, if a guy he knows he can't get anywhere, and that's just another form of quitting. So and also, you could really get in offensive lineman's head where he can't even function. And it's amazing. I didn't think about it. For your length and where you end up playing, to play nose, that's a tribute. I mean, just to even go in there. I mean, you aren't built like a nose. I mean, that's really that kind of length and your levers. I mean, that's really not conducive to playing nose. But that was a coming out party, man.
Yeah, as a sophomore, I was 270 when he told me to go play nose by. There was literally for one practice. It wasn't a big deal. Actually, my highlight of that whole thing was Barrett Ruud coming up to me afterwards, and he goes, "I'm so happy you did that," and he just walked away. Anyways, I appreciate you taking the time. Thanks for joining me. All right, don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back.
A business's phone is the lifeline to its customers and potential clients. That's why it's so important that you can take calls seamlessly from anywhere, whether you're on the road or in the office. Hamilton Business Technologies can help ensure your phone rings wherever you are. We can equip your headquarters and any of its locations with the right tools for smooth, professional call handling. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we know how to keep Nebraska businesses connected. Learn more at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
This is Rick Heyman with Sartor Heyman Jewelers. Sartor Heyman is celebrating 120 years, and you could win big. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram for your chance to win a $120 gift certificate every week. That's right, we're giving away $120 every week as a thank you for being part of our story. Don't miss your chance to treat yourself. Follow Sartor Heyman Jewelers today. Celebrating 120 years. Sartor Heyman, when only the best will do.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in seasons? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership. Get geared up for savings like you've never seen before during Elway Days. Their biggest sale of the year runs October 14th through the 18th, when every red tag machine is priced at invoice plus $300. That's it. No freight, no setup, no extra fees. Don't miss out on these epic savings. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered all under one roof with a large selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, and personal watercraft at their 27th and I-80 location.
Yesterday, your water heater worked just fine. Today, surprise! When you're out of hot water, just call the plumbers at Bryant. In most cases, you can get same-day water heater replacement. What you won't get is a costly surprise with the bill. At Bryant, the price you're quoted is the price you'll pay. No last-minute extras for piping or ventilation alterations. Need a new water heater? Just call Bryant, 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you're a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at WindowWorldLincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers, as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at DoorsPlusLLC.com. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Concrete Industries has immediate job openings for precast production laborers and maintenance technicians. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $21.50 per hour plus a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer or maintenance technician. Visit concreteindustries.com.
The temperature and leaves are falling daily, so that means it's time for a new pair of shoes for the fall season from Brown's Shoe Fit. Now through October 31st, take $15 off any regularly priced fall shoes and boots. Brands like Keen, Oboz, Echo, Taos, and Atrex, all $15 off. Some exclusions may apply. See store for details. This is the sale you've all been waiting for, so get down to Brown's Shoe Fit on 66th and Q.
I love Nebraska Pick 3. It's the Nebraska Lottery's very best game, and nothing could ever change my mind. What if I told you there's now a Nebraska Pick 4? Say what? It costs just $1 to play. There's a $6,000 top prize with drawings every day, and you could choose from 6 different bet types. What would you say to that? I love Nebraska Pick 4. It's the Nebraska Lottery's very best game, and nothing could ever change my mind. Thought so. Straight bet top prize odds 1 in 10,000.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Boom! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. We've got to rapid fire this bad boy, but first I want to give a shout out to our sponsors. Suizo Construction, good partners of ours, where safety isn't just a policy, it is a promise. Suizo is hiring skilled craftsmen, laborers, concrete workers, and steel erectors who value quality work and a team that has your back on and off the job site. Apply today at Suizo.com. 40 years strong in business. Suizo Construction, that's SCHWISOW.com. Also, the Adam Carriker Show is brought to you by our good friends at Hamilton Telecommunications, bringing you the latest in quality technology and communication services since 1901. Learn about their residential and business services at HamiltonTel.com. Couple of quick random facts before we get into our weekly picks. We already did Nebraska. If you missed that, go back and check it out, the Nebraska game. All right, UCLA, by the way, obviously Nico Iamaleava is their leading passer. He's also their leading rusher on the season. They've had 0 100-yard rushers in 4 games. They've led for 0 minutes so far this year. And in 3 of the 4 games, he's also their leading rusher. By the way, we know who the worst team in the Big Ten is because they've already lost to Northwestern. Northwestern actually has 2 wins, and so does Purdue. UCLA. Also, the Oklahoma. I talked about 6 former Oklahoma quarterbacks were starting this weekend. One of the pictures, I couldn't see who it was. It was freaking Dylan Gabriel. All right, so Dylan Gabriel's a guy I couldn't think of yesterday. Again, listen to the end of yesterday's show if you missed that. He's named the starter in Cleveland. SHEDEUR Sanders, Rex Ryan basically called him out, said, I don't want to hear from you. You're not working hard. Clip went viral. SHEDEUR Sanders was asked about the starting quarterback job, and he mimed his answers. Quick responses, because we got to be quick. What did you think of him? What if we mimed the whole entire radio? Yeah. See, I started miming. You couldn't hear me. Well, what were your thoughts on that, real quick, before we get into our picks?
Well, since we're going to be brief, I'll just say immature. Not a good look.
If you want to be a starting quarterback, he's not Dion. And he's got to get that out of his head. Now, he's done a lot of good things there, actually, but he's got to stop doing things like this, in my humble opinion. I've actually started to root for him. And then things like this happen and it becomes harder. All right, what are our games of the week that we're picking here, Jake? And I'm up on you by, 10, 15, or 20 games at this point?
We're actually both 17 and 15 on the year, so we need to do a little bit better, but at least we're over 500. But more importantly,
I seriously thought I was ahead, though. I'm not ahead?
No, the last time out, I picked one game better than you and caught up.
We got to double check this. Go ahead.
All right. We'll start with Iowa State at Cincinnati. Cincinnati favored by 2.5.
Are you surprised they're favored?
Not necessarily. This is a toss-up game.
Dude, I'm telling you, Cincinnati is better than people realize. I'm going with Cincinnati, mostly because I want Nebraska to look good. And Cincinnati's a pretty good, they're a dark horse in the Big 12. Give me Cincy.
I've been picking, I said Iowa State hasn't looked as impressive as I thought maybe they, what people say. So I'm going to go with Cincinnati too, in the home game there. Chance for an upset here. Number 9, Texas at Florida. Texas favored by 6.5.
I always want to pick, Nebraska and whoever is playing Texas are my 2 favorite teams every weekend. But I can't pick Florida. They are bad. Give me Texas.
Yeah, I'm close. I want to go against Texas here, but that's a tough pick there.
Yeah.
Vanderbilt at Alabama. Alabama favored by 10.5.
Ooh, the ultimate Cinderella. Can they do it 2 years in a row? No, give me Bama.
Good pick there. I'm going with Vanderbilt to get the win. Much better rushing offense and defense.
On the road, too.
Yeah, that's right.
I just took my lead back. Thank you.
Miami at Florida State. Miami favored by 4.5.
I would feel better had Florida State not just lost to Virginia, actually. I would actually feel better. Now they had the extra day. Miami had a bye week. They also have a bye week after this game, by the way, which is ridiculous. I'm going to take Miami just because I think they're the better team. But at home, like a wounded animal, Florida State makes me nervous. I'm still going to take Miami.
Yeah, I'm going with Miami. They look like the better team. Final one, Washington at Maryland. Maryland is our Washington State favored by 5.5.
They are. It's at Maryland, though, right?
Yep.
What time is the game?
I don't have that listed. I'm not sure.
A game
I
like
think
that.
it's 11.
Oh,
It
Maryland.
It might be midday. I can't remember.
Give me Maryland. I'm going Maryland either way, mostly because I want them to be undefeated. It's all about making Nebraska look good. I want Maryland to be undefeated when we beat them in a week. Who you
Fair
got,
enough.
Jake?
I'm going with Washington.
All right. I just took a 2-game lead on Jake. Go, Big Red, and always remember to throw the boat.
For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at